Hi guys, this is Strong. Welcome back to a new episode. So today we're gonna be talking about some topics, some Q&As you guys had for me, and just to discuss some topics like Animal Jam, my future plans, some what I think about some games going on lately, what's been going on for the past years, and other questions some people had for me. But yeah, let's start. So anyways, um, so glad to have you guys on for this new episode. We are finishing the year up, so I think one more strong pod until the New Year's. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, we're about to complete our 1 year of strong pod, so that's very exciting and definitely something to celebrate. So let's get into our first question. So we got, how do you make time for strong pod? So I don't have a lot of time, as you guys know. I've been busy with school, sports, etc. It's been, not a lot of time for, content, you know. And actually, I know you guys told you guys about what on going on like a few months ago, and I took a little break, and I'm still like not fully active, but I'm on, every so often. I still do the strong pods, for you guys, when I can. So, um, actually, um, making time, like, especially in the last few months, I've really, like, matured in a way, and realized that, content creation, like, I just feel like a lot of people put that so much time and effort into making content and doing all these things, you know, and no offense to them, but, you know, I just feel like they're not, like, matured enough, I don't know. I just feel like, once you get to that, like, that level of maturity and you really see what's going on, like, come on now. Like, do we really need to be, like, making content literally, like, you're on, you're doing this, like, literally hours of your day just to do it? I just feel like there's just a time where, like, I don't know, that, like, sometimes family, friends, spending time doing things that are good, like, more useful in a way, I think that's just better than just, wasting it all away, And not it's a waste, it's just, I think there's more important things you can do with your time. This is why I've leaned back from what I used to be doing so much, And, it's obviously content creation and everything has been good, has shown me a lot, has taught me a lot, I've met so much people because of it. But I will say that I think there's a need of balance, and no disrespect to anyone, but, those of those creators who be posting literally like several times a day and stuff, I don't know. I feel like there's more important things you can do with your time. You know, it's just a game at the end of the day. It's not that serious. You know, and most of us are not getting paid, so you know, it is what it is. But yeah. Um, Next question. What is my future plans? So, you guys know I'm not fully active yet. I've been back, but like not fully there, Like I've just been off and on, I still make these, for you guys. I would say my future plans is obviously to still create. I still love the game. I don't play it really that often as I used to, but I try to go on whenever I can, buy the stuff, make some sapphires, whatever, you know, and host parties and such. Um, what is my future plans? My future plans for my content wise would be to obviously grow. I still want to be active in the community, I don't want to be fully absent, but not as active as I used to be. Um, I want to do more lives. I haven't tried that out, and I think that'd be cool to in like Roman, And I've got a little more time now, but even then, try to spend it wisely. Um, I also wanna re, I wanna like revive my other brand, Strong Point. Yeah, Strong Point. We've been on a little slope just because master blocks aren't, and they haven't been at all. Like back then when I was doing it, I mostly did it for myself and to those few who liked the blocks. And I'll still do them. It's just that blocks take so much time, and I feel like they take a toll on me sometimes because it's too much. It's not that the blocks is too much work. It's just I think the blocks that I do, it's like a lot of measurements and work, and just very time consuming. Literally, one house I do takes me like 5-8 hours, you know. So I usually take breaks or I do that all in one shot, and it's like a lot, but it's worth it because it comes out amazing. And I actually find a joy for that, so I may come back to doing that again to make a dream house because that's been one of my bucket lists for a while now, and I haven't got to it, but I definitely want to do that one day. I put a hold on to a lot of my plans just because of time and everything, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Um, my content wise, it just maybe, you know, we'll see what happens in the next year or two, what AJ brings and what goes on. Definitely want to do more collabs, want to do more, involvement with the community, that's for sure. Um, for my in-game wise, I want to make more sapphires. I will tell you guys later, actually, so incident that happened, but, I lost, like, majority of my sapphires, and most of the reason is because, well, the main reason really is because we've been giving it out to people, right? Because if you guys know me, I don't like. I used to like back before 2020, like when I first started around like 2015. For a good few years, I was like addicted to trading. Like literally every day in that place, all I did was trade. Literally lived in the trading dens. Um, and I don't think it was healthy, nor was it like good. I think that's another real of me like maturing, and like you're gonna spend all this time trading just for some pixels. You know what I'm saying? And I just learned to live and be happy with what I got. Because it will always be like, oh, I got this, I got my dream item, now I want more, you know? And I just realized that, I gotta be more like, happy with what I have, you know what I'm saying? And I always want more. Because that's right there, that's the cause of, like, the root of, why I felt that way, or wanted more. We always want more as humans and just people. But we gotta also realize what we have and be, appreciative of that, and realize, do we need more or we just want more, you know what I'm saying? And for trading and stuff like that, obviously we just want it, but the new next big item comes in, now we want that, you know what I'm saying? So I just learned to live with my items, make a nice little fit. That's not even that expensive. I made a unique fit, made it as my main fit for content and animaljam, and I'm happy with that. My unique look, and I'm happy with that. Everything else, like my sapphires, my items, all of my stuff, guys, like literally, I just give that to you guys. I I literally just play right now just for you guys, to give to bring joy to people and just give back to the community. I know a lot of people are just not, you know, this community in AJ. It's either you're rich or like there's a lot of people that don't have much. And I would want to help both sides out too. I'm not just going low. I'll help anyone out. You know. Yeah, for that's my plans really in the future. Definitely do more parties. Definitely, I was gonna start my training then, but we got into a pickle, so I might be coming back to that soon, for sure. It's just been busy right now, but definitely gonna go back to that. My future for Strongpod. I really don't know if we're gonna go further with Strongpod in the future, just because of um interviewers wise. Like, we've interviewed so much people, and I feel like we've done a lot. You know, I think definitely another season for sure. The audience has been there for sure. Great feedback, I think it's what I've been known really lately as, compared to how what I was usually known for behind back then. So definitely gonna keep Strongpod, I may lower it down a little bit, like not as often type of thing. But it may be more, instead of being like weekly type of thing, it may be more like a grand thing, like one a month, but this one's like really big. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a lot longer. Maybe have, instead of one interviewer, have a group. Do a little bit more creative things, just because of time and just stuff like that. Make it more creative, which we can do that. Um, for my brand, definitely trying to do more charity events. Help with that stuff, which I do a lot. Give back to community, just like go and jam and give things to people, or have my parties I post to you guys, and all those stuff comes out of my pocket, or the funds, we get, for sure. Okay, well, I think that answers that question. My next question is, how is IC Saps, and how do you guys be so successful? So guys, with IC Sapphires, we've been doing really well lately. Actually, I'm very proud of the group. I'm gonna give all the credit to the leaders over there, because lately I've been too active in the pack and like contributed much. I've been helping here and there, but not much really. So I gotta give props to them. They've been a great group, guys. It's actually gonna be a year soon since I've joined, and we've made a big change with Ashley Sapphires. We've literally 360, and now we're on top of the game again, and we are continuing that. We're only growing. So I'm so happy for the group, and we'll be continuing doing that. Success. I think success is all about your leadership in the pack. And the members you let inside it too, because you need good leadership to delegate everyone around, and make the right moves. And I think that's so important as a pack. And I think it's also important to have members, runners that are committed to the pack, and have like a quantity of them, you know what I'm saying? Because when you have only so little, and I guess say you're like running on 5 or less people, it's hard, because it's like, you're competing against packs that have 100 people, and even though they have 100 people, maybe only 20 contribute, or whatever it may be, you know. It's just that, you're competing with packs that have a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Especially the big packs, like Icy Sapphire, to attract a lot of people, by their name or what, places we're in or such, But just like the other big packs, So it's hard, especially for those new packs that are trying to be something, you know what I'm saying? Definitely, I experienced that when I made my own packs. I made it 2 or 3 times. We made it to the leaderboard many times, Definitely not an easy thing at all, Definitely almost like feel like a full-time job, That's why I'm part-time there, and, I try to do what I do. But definitely success is definitely from leadership, and having a good group of people, Good group of people can create, a lot of fun, a lot of harmony, and make the pack successful. And having good rules and restrictions, because people like to cross the line sometimes, and you need to put them down in their place, you know what I'm saying? So definitely that's important, and that's good for a pack. Some advice for packs who want to grow and, start out. Definitely in the beginning, you can't just be like, oh, hey, my pack's in the leaderboard, and, join us. People will join, but you might not get much results at all. people want to see. Unfortunately, people want to see prizes. They want to see good stuff. You know what I'm saying? They want to see, oh yeah, we're doing parties every week. Oh yeah, we're doing drops every day. Oh yeah, we're getting big prizes for the month. You know, unfortunately, that's how it is. Definitely the owners, the leaders have to get out of pocket a little bit. But you know what? In the long term, if you really want to be a pack owner and be successful, you know, these days, especially because a lot of big packs, they're on top of them having already a big name. You know, there's a lot of people who join these packs too because like, oh wow, I'm in this pack. It's like an honor. You know what I'm saying? It creates that honor and like, oh wow, like he's in that pack. You know, he must be doing something big. You know what I'm saying? That's the feeling that you get. You know what I'm saying? And that's what big packs have. You know, on top of all the prizes, all the awards they have. You know, like ISIS However, they do awards every month with their parties, and those awards you get a whole masterpiece, custom painted for you, and everything. So yeah, these big packs offer so much. You know, compared to these new packs, it's hard to compete. So it's good to start small, then grow. You know what I'm saying? But definitely it's good to offer some type of things. You know, sapphires, prizes, whatever, to lure them in, and hopefully you maintain that and you grow. You know what I'm saying? I know other packs too. If you have your pack has a strong social media presence, you know, like Ice Sapphires, we don't, unfortunately. Obviously, you know, those who are in Ice Sapphires, you know, we have a following, like me or Icy, we have a big following. But, you know, it's not like, I'm not saying the big, I'm talking more of the quantity, you know what I'm saying? So, like, for example, I know from experience, because I used to be in their pack, champions, right? Um, Champions have a lot of social media presence. You know, their owner, a lot of their leaders, even non-leaders, are on social media. You know what I'm saying? And that right there is good because that right there, I know they have a chat, they talk, and they do all this stuff, right? So it's almost like you're creating a family, and that is really special, you know. Than just a whole bunch of people from Animal Jam in the game. You only talk to them in the game. These people talk outside of the game, you know, on a platform, and become friends. And it's almost like a family, a strong unit. So definitely, that's one thing about Champions I do like, and it's really good and special about them. And I think that's why they've been around for so long, because they have a strong unit, you know, and that's important, you know. Um, Next on, I want to talk about my what incident happened like in the last few months. So when I was off, like you know, I wasn't active. The funding group, we have a group that we do meetings, whatever, and we dictate where these fundings are going, whatever, whatever. And someone, um, I think I showed you guys in the trailer. They're dressed. We're in our meeting, our little skin tone meeting, and they dressed like Bora, right? So I'm like, what? And then on top of that, we got to find out that day that they're the one who spent, if not all, the funding, right? So literally, I lost, if not almost all of our funding, and it was like devastated. You know what I'm saying? It was horrible. You know, obviously, you know, I'm not, I wasn't crying or I didn't really like, not that I didn't care, just, you know, it is what it is, you know. Sapphire, if you can always can gain them back, you know. But I was not happy at all. And I had to kick them out, remove them, and told them do not wear that again. You know, it's disrespectful and all this stuff. You're trying to frame or something. I don't know what he was trying to do. Uh, you know, imagine we had like 100,000 gone. But you know, it is what it is. We live and learn. But everyone got fired. You know, redoing that. You know, and definitely gonna make better choices in the future with that. Next question. I believe it is. How do you make sapphires? Like they want tips on sapphires. Okay, sapphires. I've never been. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna say that. I make sapphires actually a lot. I think I make sapphires pretty well. I usually try to do investments like for years now because I've noticed, long term wise, you make a big return. than just, and also the reason why I do that too is because I'm not the type of guy to spend money on the game. I don't spend much money, if not at all, in the last 10 years I've been playing this game. It's just because I don't see the use of it, you know what I'm saying? Um, like, I just don't like spending money on just a game. Unless I really want it, but I don't really spend it much. So I always had to make money since I was young. Literally, like, 10 years ago when I was young, my parents didn't spend no money on the game. So I literally had to find a way to get membership, to guide all the stuff I wanted. So I had to make it work. So I had to sell stuff and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? There was a time where there was no shops or anything. So literally, making sapphires was like, literally like impossible. Um, but everything worked out. But yeah, I have to make sapphires on my own without, I have to rely on someone or I have to, you know, buy stuff with money. I have to make everything myself. So, I gotta do that. That's how I try. I do investments. So pretty much how it works is, it's everything is not guaranteed at all. Everything's just out of what you think. For example, I recently invested in 10,000 sapphires in Outback scarves, right? The ones from I think Salesman. It was the blue ones, right? They're each 10 sapphires a pop, right? So I spent 10,000. I got 1,000 scarves, right? So with those scarves, even though I know they're not gonna go up that much, it's already been I think a year, if not I don't know, around almost a year, and maybe I wait like another year or two, and maybe let's say they would just go to 100. Let's just say 100, right? Because I don't think they're gonna go that high, but I think right now they're around 50, whatever. But let's say they get to like 90, right? So 90 times 1,000, 90,000. I initially spent, right, a 10,000. So I already made my profit of and a profit of 80,000. See how much a big profit that is? And reason why I did it for this one, even though I knew the return might not be that much, or risky, is because I bought these for so low. I bought them at literally 10 sapphires. So if I wanted to, I could easily break even if I wanted to. Just selling the scarf for 10 sapphires, anyone would buy that, you know what I'm saying? And, out of love, they could buy it, you know what I'm saying? So people give donations of 10 sapphires. So the return is really high, or highly likely. So there's a reason why I did it, you know what I'm saying? So whenever you make these investments, try to look at it as like percentage-wise, you know what I'm saying? My return looked really high, so I was like, okay, we'll do that. We'll take the chance on that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, there's many things I've been done in the past. I recently just did a new investment on the party favorite potions. I didn't have much sapphires or money to really spend on it, but I've made with whatever I could get, and I'm gonna make the most out of that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it is what it is. Those are the things we do, and we make sapphires out of that. And from there, we don't just spend the profits crazy. We reinvest that money and for more. And for me, really, I reinvest that money and make all those thousands or whatever it may be for you guys. I spend all that money is going to the funding for parties, for drops, for giveaways, for my brand Strongpod, all those releases of the master box. All this stuff is for you guys. So I do it to help you guys and create that funding, able to create these fun experiences and everything like that. But yeah, it is what it is. Um, Definitely, And last question I see here is, what do you think about Animal Jam and the game and the future and the new things they've been adding? Honestly, I don't like it. I think a lot of the new games they're adding is just not. I don't know. They're just too like confusing for me. I don't know, maybe for some people they're not confusing, but for me they've been confusing. Like the Halloween games, all this stuff, like crazy. Literally, I thought it was just a maze in Jam. Literally so much. So I skipped October. I didn't even play one thing. It was too confusing for me. Plus, I'm not that active right now, and it just was too much for me. So I didn't really participate in anything. Same with this month. There's a few new games. I think it's cool, but I think they need to do more games that are more like easier to understand for me, or easier to do. I think some games are just a little hard for me, to understand or do. But I'm not saying they're bad or, they're just, some people might get easy to it. Just for me, it's not, you know. I think it's just too much too. You know, it's just definitely. Because remember, I used to see I was literally in the original of Animal Jam. You know, for AJ Play Wild. So I saw the beginning to what it is now. You know what I'm saying? So I see the difference and change. You know. So for me, it's like, like we're changing so much. From what we used to be. And it's crazy the difference of things we have now and how we did it back then. It's crazy to me because it's like I had so much fun and did so much things even with not having so much as I did back then. So I'm like, it's crazy how much we grow, do those things. To me, I think that's just so cool. Um, but other than that, you know, the game itself, it's improving, it's growing, and I hope it continues. It's not what it once was, but we're getting there. But yeah, guys, thank you guys for listening to this episode. Hope you guys liked me chatting, and we definitely can do more of these. For a podcast, podcasts are originally, um, a solo based thing. I do more invites though because I like, collabing. I know people love that. But I do know podcasts, like most podcasts, are one person talking about topics. And if you guys like that, we'll continue doing that with also collabs and stuff. But yeah, we have I think one more coming in this month. I mean, yeah, this month for the year, and hopefully it's a lot of fun. And we'll be seeing you guys soon. Ciao.